of thing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa
Dear
alaikum
brothers, this is
assalam wa
our
rahmatullahi wa
today
barakatuh.
Saturday classes here at Panishia School, and you can see Dr. Shanawaz is sitting here in front of us. He is doing some correction in his Quran, and brother Teacher Usman is helping him for this work, and there is another brother here, brother Ayaz, and myself. Alhamdulillah. Today we have less people around here. We're missing some brothers. Maybe inshallah getting ready for the Ramadan inshallah. Okay, Dr. Shanawaz, we had a question for you from some of our group members that they wanted to know that what is the since you've been in your business is medicine and stem cells and working with the cancer patients a lot. You are dedicating yourself to this type of life. We want to know what is the reality of the fever. What happens usually whenever our children have fever, they the parents immediately rush to the paracetamol, Sara, Tylenol and all those things, and we just try to get rid of the fever as soon as possible. Can you please guide us how does it really works, doctor?
Okay.
And should we take the paracetamols or not?
This first of all, we have to go with the basic. We have to understand this why fever happens. What is fever? The science of fever. Every person have to understand, especially the parents, right? Fever is actually a natural response from our body. You see, when our body is invaded or something goes wrong, especially when virus or bacteria attack or something happens to our body has a special thermostat system. So why we have a fever? When our body sense some attack. It sends some attack, let's say as a viral attack, a bacterial attack. So it knows something is there. So it tries to fight it back. We have a defense mechanism, right? So to able to achieve a defense mechanism, our body has a system called thermostat, right? So it will increase the temperature. It tries to regulate the thermostat temperature so our body can produce NK cell. There are special kind of white blood cells that are responsible for killing the virus and bacteria. So these cells are only activated when the temperature goes to a certain level. Our body has to reach a certain temperature and then these cells start producing. So our body will produce, especially in the bone marrow. It starts from the bone marrow, it starts making these NK cells. So more NK cells, that means it can kill more virus and bacteria. So why sometimes it happens that when the fever goes, the temperature keep going higher? Because sometimes the bacteria and virus are more than our NK cell. So it's like who is winning. So in order to kill them, so it makes more higher temperature, so more NK cells are produced. Like, let's say a defense. When we have a fever, a child has a fever, anybody has a fever, we should not immediately go and take a paracetamol or antipyretic drugs. Antipyretic drugs are that reduce the body temperature, right? So, but this is really bad for health. First of all, these any modern medicines, they always have a lot of side effects. Okay. Second of all, we are suppressing a natural mechanism. Natural mechanism, that means our body is trying to do things in a natural way, but we are taking the medicine and suppressing it. Okay, there is another effect. So when the temperature goes up to 39 and 40, you should wait. This is the optimal temperature between 39 and 40, where our body is really doing the best way to produce more and more cells to kill these bacteria and virus. But once your child has, or you have a temperature of 38, 30, oh, I have a fever, I take. So body even didn't reach that level so that your blood can produce more NK cells. You let it stop it. And immediately you go to antibiotics, you go to this, you go to that. We start all this producer. We don't let our body to fix. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made our body so perfect. There are so many things already, repair, damage, everything. Even now I'm talking, I'm killing so many cells. My lung cells millions of cells are being killing right now, and immediately it's repairing also. There are repair and killing mechanism going every second. Even I do like this, even I'm doing like this, I'm killing thousands of cells now. But it's repairing now. God has the system. God has made this system. So we should always go with the natural system.
Sure.
And especially the paracetamol, I'll warn everyone, is so bad for health. Paracetamol is very bad, especially don't take so high. You have a dose, take according to your weight. People take 1 tablet, 2 tablet, 3 tablet without calculating the weight, right? Third, paracetamol, if you take in higher dose, it will completely damage your liver. So liver will be completely irreversible damage. Liver failure can happen. So always be careful.
Inshallah.
Okay, so if you have a fever or something, try to use a natural way. Put a hot hot thing,
Mm.
I mean the cold
wrap, yes.
lab, or give some natural, like some plants like basil leaf,
Yes,
curcumin,
correct.
honey. Try to soothe your body that way.
Mm.
But sometimes it's your body cannot fight. Sometimes body is losing. That you have no other way. Okay, then that time you have to give paracetamol, take him to the hospital, give antibiotics, because body couldn't do it. It tried it best but couldn't. But we have to let it try.
Okay.
Sometimes we even don't do it, let it try, and we suppress it. It's always very bad.
Okay, Dr. Saras, we have one more question in mind. Just sorry to cut you short. We just have a little break and we can come back for another question with him. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. And no panicking. But what happens is basically we parents we panic once our children, small kids have fever and all, and then we panic that if the fever raises higher and the body might go into a shock and then it is a problem, and then something very serious things happens. What do you say about this?
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for having me here and putting some insight on some very common things that's happening in our life, everyday life, and people are not so aware of these small things.
Yeah,
and also they make a lot of mistakes, and it has a long-term effect after long time, after a few years. So as your question, that's right that sometimes the shock can happen and this kind of thing. Your consent has to be there as a parent or as anybody. The consent has to be there. That's why there should be a constant monitoring. Okay, the fever has to be constantly monitored. But the shock doesn't happen usually. I'm talking about usually, not if the temperature goes above 42. So when temperature goes above 42, then the shock happens. Shock is also a natural defense mechanism. That means the body will shut down some system in order to protect your vital organ. For example, to protect the most vital organ, the brain. So for not let a brain to be damaged, it shut down the system. So it make you shock. So you go to shock. So it protects some things. But before that, whenever let's say we are talking about child, so we have to keep monitoring. Okay, we have to keep checking his body temperature. Okay, if the body temperature somehow doesn't come under control, as I said, because body couldn't fight, it tried its best. In that case, then we have to see a paracetamol or ibuprofen or anything. But always remember, there is not a medicine that works for everyone, right?
Okay.
So you have to be careful. Sometimes some people are allergic to the paracetamol. Some people have some side effects, severe side effects with some things like internal bleeding can happen. Some people, if you give paracetamol, most of people do mistake giving empty stomach. When you give an empty stomach, there is internal bleeding can happen, GI bleeding.
Okay.
That's also we have to be careful, right? So all this thing has to be monitored. So, but don't come to the conclusion that fever happened, give the medicine. Please don't do that. Anybody, even adult, fever comes, let the fever be there. I tell you, because I work with the cancer, right? So in cancer, we found out during last 10 or 15 years, a research that a person who doesn't get a fever within last 10 years, he will definitely get cancer within 20 years.
Allahu Akbar.
So a person thinks, I'm very healthy. I don't get fever, I don't get influenza, I don't get cold, I'm healthy. No, he's not really healthy.
Does it mean his body is not working well, right?
His body is not resetting.
Yeah.
So fever you need fever, because every time fever happens, our body will make new cells. You see, when a new bacteria comes, our body should find antigen, you see, like vaccine. So it has to find, every bacteria has special chemicals you need to kill, or let's say, special chemical you need to kill, right? So every time it happens, our body has to know how to make this bacteria, how to make this chemical, so I can kill, let's say, bacteria A. So for example, when we give an influenza bacteria, vaccine is the same. When you give the vaccine, we actually putting the virus inside our body in a less quantity. So our body will, now something came up, I need to make something to kill it. So whenever there is a fever, that means it's trying to make something new, and it will memorize it, it will keep it in the memory. So next time this thing happen, then it will know how to fight it. Okay?
No, wait for the machine that we fever inducing machine that you said.
Yes. Now also fever is so important. I'm telling you, in the therapeutic way, like most of the now technology there are called hypothermia. It's called active hypothermia or passive hypothermia. We have machines, so we put people in that machine to create a fever. We need fever to cure disease. We need fever. So Hippocrates, that one of the aristocrat, he was one of the great scientists in the Greece. He used to say, "Give me heat, I will cure everything."
Wow.
He used to say that, "Give me heat, I will cure everything, all the disease." So we need heat. So these machines that we have now, it will create a fever inside. So we try to reach the fever under control, like 39 to 40, 39 to 40, something like this. So fever is good.
Jazakallah khair. This was Dr. Shahnawaz from, he's been staying in Spain, and he's working on this cancer thing and stem cells in Bangkok. And he has his own hospitals and clinics in Sukhumvit and other places at the name of Biomax. Thank you very much, Dr. Shahnawaz. And we here interviewing him at our Saturday classes at Panacea School, our weekly classes for Quran. And this is also on behalf of Seva Kit Foundation, where Dr. Shahnawaz is one of a special sponsor and a core member of our foundation. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. May Dr. Allah reward you the best, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.